Welcome to episode 278, Ken Griffin, 14 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 278, lesson 1 to lesson 7. This is an outline of episode 278, lesson 8 to lesson 14. Lesson number 1, a prodigy at grade 6.
Helpful to share a bit about myself. Let's take a journey back through time. Yes, this is me on the beach as a young boy with the business section of the paper. And here's a report that I wrote in 6th grade where I set out to understand how the stock market works.
Lesson number 2, audacity to ask questions. This is my favorite.
As you pointed out, I started trading my dorm room. I started Citadel right out of college for all intents and purposes. Never worked on Wall Street. And yet I had some of the best Wall Street training anyone in the world had. It was my sales coverage at Bear Stearns, my friend at Drexel who gave me advice, my friend at Merrill Lynch who would let me come into the office and go through their research reports and their analysis, my friend at Lehman Brothers who let me sit on the stock loan desk and understand how the securities lending market worked. You would be amazed by just asking how much people who you respect will share their time and insights with you. Just pick up the phone, send a letter, make a trip.
Lesson number 3, high tech from day 1. He was 18.
And since my teenage years, I've had a love for computers. Next to the definition of geek, you could find my picture. Now, I was armed with all of the modern technology of the day. I had a fax. I had a phone. I had an IBM PS2 personal computer. And it is true, I put a satellite dish on top of the building, ran the cable through an old unused elevator shaft, pulled it through a window, and into my dorm room so I could have real-time stock quotes.
Lesson number 4, he met a great mentor and a great investor. His name is Frank Meyers.
And over the 30 years I've known Frank, he has been a great partner, a great mentor, and most importantly, a great friend. But Frank offered more than capital and more than moral support. He gave me great advice. He said, don't focus on just a single investment strategy. Focus on building a firm, a platform that attracts the best and brightest people and that deploys capital across an array of investment strategies.
What is it that you think seeders or people that are early stage investors should look out for when looking at the new upcoming manager?
I think you have to look at the manager and see, what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and to the extent that he has weaknesses, and all of them do, how is he going to compensate for the weakness? I mean, basically, when you're a money manager and you're leaving working for someone else and going on your own, you have to manage a portfolio, but you also have to manage a business. So I think it's important that you see a manager that shows breadth, that he respects the parts of the business that he doesn't know that well as the parts of the business that he does know.
Lesson number 5, war on talents, recruiting only the best.
It's a huge challenge. And I copied one of the business practices from Google. So the co-CEOs of Google sign off on every single hire at Google, which is we have somebody spend 4 hours with the candidate and talk about their career history. We're going to hire this person. I still retain an ultimate veto right, and I use it. If I don't think the person has the qualities that we're looking for to be the foundation of our future, I just say no. It drives my colleagues nuts. But nothing is more important than maintaining that standard of excellence in who we choose to hire. And people talk about how much time we spend interviewing. I've interviewed over 10,000 people in my career. It's just what's required to succeed.
Lesson number 6, deep specialization.
So what I find works well over time is having a deep expertise in the area in which you're participating. I always think about investors that run a big U.S. book and they go buy a stock in Brazil as being like drive-by or tourist investors. That investment in Brazil is almost certainly not going to work. They don't understand the company, the country, the pricing dynamics, what's relevant. So for us, the core belief that we have is that deep expertise is rewarded. So we organize our affairs where people specialize. They're a healthcare expert, they're an expert in industrial stocks, they're specialists in pricing natural gas across Europe. It's that deep specialization that we think drives differentiated and superior returns.
Lesson number 7, execution. Ken Griffin's firm, Citadel, is the largest market maker and high-speed trading firm in the world. Lesson number 8, be decisive, hustle.
On a Sunday morning, in the summer of 2007, Soward had a very large and complex book of credit-related instruments. They had lost hundreds of millions of dollars in the blink of an eye. Now, Soward brought in another large bank to provide a competing solution. Person on the deal from the other bank calling me, and he said, look, it's getting late. This isn't going to get done tonight. I'm heading off to bed. I'm telling my guys to go home, and we'll pick this up in the morning. And I said, there will be nothing to pick up in the morning. We're going to get this done. He sort of laughed and hung up. 6 a.m. before the opening of the markets, we bought that entire portfolio. Which brings me to a quote that describes the ethos of Citadel. Things may come to those who wait, but only those things left by those who hustle.
Lesson number 9, teamwork.
Citadel has been built on one simple equation, a belief that super talented individuals working together as a team can create extraordinary results.
Lesson number 10, extremely high leverage. Partly because Citadel works as a market maker, high-speed trader, and sometimes investment bankers, Citadel borrows a lot of money, 5 to 6 times its asset. Lesson number 11, be very liquid. Citadel almost ran out of cash in 2008.
2000s were incredibly good years for us, and that became our Achilles heel. So when Lehman Brothers failed in September of 2008, the money markets stopped lending to the financial community. I did not foresee a day where the government would have to intervene to bail out basically everybody.
Lesson number 12, competitive advantage.
Is that we're extraordinarily focused on how do you build competitive advantage in everything you do. How do you think about everything we do, how do you do it better than the competition? Because if you're not better than the competition, you have no reason to exist. And in particular, I think we live in this very unusual winner-takes-all world more and more, where your market leaders really do dominate.
Lesson 13, be a market leader or die.
And in particular, I think we live in this very unusual winner-takes-all world more and more, where your market leaders really do dominate. You know, I say to my colleagues, who's the 5th largest manufacturer of personal computers? Now, almost no one knows, and frankly, no one cares.
Lesson 14, it's harder to generate alpha today. The industry is consolidating.
Well, I've been in the space for almost 30 years now, and over the 30 years, there's just been an explosion in the size of the industry. The number of funds, the $3 trillion of capital now deployed in hedge funds. It has been an unbelievable growth story. And like many growth stories, we're going through a period of retrenchment as the dynamics of the playing field are changing. It's harder to create alpha today. There's more competition. There's a lot of very sharp people trying to find opportunities in the marketplace.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.